When 29-year-old South Korean influencer Yoon Ji-ah ended her final livestream, her fans saw her smile, wave goodbye, and log off. The camera turned off, and less than 30 minutes later, she was dead. The danger wasn't some far-off threat, it was right there, waiting for the moment she was no longer public, no longer safe, and no longer live. This is the story of how the person who presented himself as her biggest supporter was actually her killer in disguise. Yoon Ji-ah, known to her 300,000 followers by her online name Ah-dung, was a 29-year-old woman building a life for herself in the modern world. Based in the city of Incheon, she was a bright, engaging presence on platforms like TikTok. Her content was relatable. She'd do "get ready with me" videos, talk about her day, and share her deep-seated ambition of becoming a professional actress. She was successfully leveraging her online community to chase a real-world dream. Her final day, September 11th, started like any other workday. She set up her equipment on Yeongjong Island and went live. At around 3 p.m, she signed off. When she didn't return home and wasn't answering her phone, her family grew worried and soon filed a missing persons report. The police investigation began with her last known moments. The first major breakthrough, as later detailed on the investigative show SBS's Curious Story Why, came from a street CCTV camera. Yoon Ji-ah's family recounted the horrific moment the detective described to them. At 3:27 p.m, they said, the camera captured what seemed like someone forcibly pulling her as she was trying to get out of the car, causing the door to close again. That 27-minute window was all it took. Yoon Ji-ah was never seen alive again. Police now knew they were dealing with a probable abduction, and they had a suspect vehicle. They identified the car's owner, a man in his 50s named Choi. Choi was a well-known figure in the streaming world, but he was living a shocking double life. Online, he was Black Cat, a high-level VIP patron who, according to industry insiders, had spent at least 100 million Korean won, roughly $70,000, to build his status. He presented himself to Yoon Ji-ah as a wealthy IT company president, a powerful partner who would grow her career. But it was all a false mask. In reality, Choi was broke. And here is the crucial, tragic detail. On the very day of the murder, his house was put up for compulsory auction. The glamorous VIP reputation was a fantasy, and on that day, his real-world ruin became final. He had latched onto Yoon Ji-ah's career as his last hope, but she had grown worn down by his coercive orders and excessive schedule, and was trying to end their partnership. Just before the crime, CCTV captured a scene of Choi on his knees in public, begging her not to leave. As the producers of Curious Story Why speculated, the despair over losing his house, combined with the anger of his last financial plan falling apart, likely led to the explosion of violence. When his begging failed, he turned to force. Police tracked his movements from that 3:27 p.m. abduction. After killing Yoon Ji-ah, Choi dragged her body in a large suitcase from his house. He then began a long and calculated journey, driving for hours, heading south to the remote mountains of Muju County, hundreds of kilometers away from the crime scene. He showed meticulousness, stopping his car 8 different times in a clear attempt to confuse any potential investigation. It was on a mountain site in Muju County that he disposed of her body, where it was eventually discovered by police. The autopsy revealed the full brutality of the attack. The official cause of death was asphyxiation due to neck compression, but the forensic evidence also showed signs of a severe facial assault. Just 12 hours after Yoon Ji-ah's body was found, Choi was arrested. In the interrogation room, he denied the charges, but as detectives laid out the irrefutable proof, the DNA, the fingerprints, the CCTV footage of the abduction and his journey, and the fact they had found the body, he ultimately confessed to the crime. And then, investigators uncovered something even more disturbing. This wasn't the first time Choi had been violent. At the time of the murder, he was already on trial for assaulting and confining another female streamer. The system had already identified him as a predator, but because he was not detained, he was free to strike again. The trial became a focal point for a painful national discussion. The prosecutor used his previous assault case to establish his clear pattern of targeting and abusing women in the creator community. Choi was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Once again, thank you for joining me for this incredibly disturbing story. Before we go, if you found this video informative, please consider subscribing to my channel Truly Chilling. A like on this video also really helps us reach more people. Thank you so much for your time and for your support. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.